Last video, I talked about the wake-up call to liberals that was this election. There's no shame in losing, there's no shame in being wrong, but it's important to take failure as an opportunity for self-reflection, for self-critique, to pursue self-improvement and come back stronger next time. And I'm already seeing a split emerging on the left. The smarter ones are doing exactly that, taking a stab at self-diagnosis to identify and correct the problem. But there's another faction, the rigid ideologues, who are doubling down on the failed ideas of this election season. Those ideas were actually the best ones, and it's everyone else's fault for failing to see it. Skeptical? Just ask John Oliver. He'll set you straight.
Donald J. Trump will become the 45th president of the United States.
It's true. That happened. It turns out, instead of showing our daughters that they could someday be president, America proved that no grandpa is too racist to become leader of the free world.
How is a vote for Trump a vote against our daughters? I, like pretty much everyone else, have no problem with the concept of a female president or with young girls having the ambition to ascend to the highest office. And if I had a daughter, I would encourage that exact type of ambition in her. That doesn't mean I have to support this particular woman, whom I view as a message to our daughters that says, hey, girls, don't worry about being a pleasant, honest person. Be a crotchety crook who feels entitled to power despite egregious moral and political failings.
Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
Tell me, John, do you believe a vote for Hillary in the primaries was an anti-Semitic vote? After all, we've never had a Jewish president. Bernie would have been the first. It turns out that instead of showing our Jewish children they can be a Democratic nominee, America proved that no cranky grandma is too repellent to steal a nomination.
Oh, our future president was supported by a former Grand Wizard of the Klan, and 60 million people voted for him despite that.
And a terrorist dad supported Hillary, and 60 million people voted for her despite that. Guess what, John? Lots of terrible people enjoy your show. But I'll judge you and your show by what you and your show say, because that's what you are responsible for.
What? When I'm not doing Reich stuff, I love kicking back with last week tonight.
Just some of Trump's promises: repeal and replace Obamacare, build a wall along the southern border with Mexico and get Mexico to pay for said wall, deport all 11 to 12 million undocumented immigrants in this country, including children, appoint a special prosecutor to investigate and potentially jail Hillary Clinton, temporarily ban Muslims and immigrants from terror-prone nations from coming into the United States.
Okay, stop. Just stop. Because it sounds like you're reading the to-do list on Satan's refrigerator.
Whew, how awful. I can't imagine getting to hell and Satan saying to me,
welcome, sinner. Prepare yourself for more affordable insurance premiums. Prepare yourself for secure borders. Prepare yourself for the rule of democratic law.
Okay, geez. Can I just choose eternal burning instead?
So, how the fuck did we get here? Well, clearly, there are many possible answers to that question, including misleading forecasts that bred complacency, a flawed candidate who failed to appeal to white, rural, and working-class voters, and this is worth repeating, deep racism and/or indifference to it.
So you gloss over a corrupt media, you gloss over a corrupt candidate, you emphasize what you call deep racism and indifference to it, and as evidence, you supply a picture of graffiti sourced originally from Sean King, a man who has never, ever been known to embellish claims about race issues. I'm not saying it's impossible for John's example to be legitimate racially motivated vandalism, but can we at least wait for the evidence? That incident is still under investigation without a suspect even identified. If you want properly documented hate crimes, consider this one.
You voted Trump! You voted Trump! Oh, yeah! Yeah, you voted Trump!
There's the real example of bigotry that put Trump into the White House, but don't let the evidence cloud your conclusion, John. It is your conclusion, after all, so it must be right.
Let's look at just one narrow element that may have helped bring us here, because it will be important going forward, and that is our media. Specifically, how a system that is supposed to catch a serial liar failed.
You're seriously going to argue that mainstream media coverage was too generous to Trump? One study found 91% of broadcast news coverage of Trump was negative. In fairness, that's from a conservative source, but if you used your eyes or your ears during this election season, I don't know how you come to the conclusion that mainstream media outlets helped Trump, other than John's dumb argument that they played too many of his speeches unedited.
CNN, for instance, sometimes ran his speeches almost in their entirety. And their president, Jeff Zucker, now admits that might not have been such a great idea.
What a disservice to the public. They ought to be ashamed, playing a presidential candidate's words unfiltered and letting the citizenry decide for themselves.
If you can afford the time or money, support organizations that are going to need help under a Trump administration. And also, just for a dash, I'll give you just a dash of fun here. I will point out, if you have relatives who supported Trump, you can give money in their name. So consider your holiday shopping this year done. Happy holidays, Nana. The Trevor Project thanks you.
What kind of sad, bitter person makes a charitable donation out of spite, especially spite toward friends or family? Want to get back at your Hillary voting friends? Donate to abused women or military families or epilepsy. That'll show them. Or you could just donate charitably out of the goodness of your heart instead of the bitterness of your shattered ideology.
You need to support actual journalism by buying a subscription to outlets like The Times or The Post.
Yes, John. Subscribe to the New York Times for actual journalism. The same paper that desperately tried to influence the race by publishing unsubstantiated 30-year-old sexual assault allegations front page. The same paper whose editor openly apologizes to readers for its admittedly blind and biased coverage of the presidential campaign. An unusual moment of honesty, perhaps prompted by consecutive quarters posting financial losses because, funny, the market for elitist, disconnected half-truths isn't very strong. But yeah, John, we need to support actual journalism, the type of actual journalism that admits it doesn't have a great relationship with reality. Just toss money at the problem. That always works.
It is going to be too easy for things to start feeling normal, especially if you are someone who is not directly impacted by his actions. So keep reminding yourself, this is not normal. Write it on a post-it note and stick it on your refrigerator. Hire a skywriter once a month. Tattoo it on your arse. Because a Klan-backed misogynist internet troll is going to be delivering the next State of the Union address. And that is not normal, it is fucked up.
You know what's not normal? Drawing preconceived conclusions prior to observation. You know what's not normal? Insisting everyone else is crazy even when their numbers are substantial. You know what's not normal? Refusing to consider the faults of your own position. I'm supposed to give myself paranoid reminders everywhere that the world is transforming into something awful as a gesture of sanity?
Well, what do you think, Marge? All I need is a title. I was thinking along the lines of no TV and no beer make Homer something something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do!
What a visionary for rationalism. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below and especially over on Twitter. That is at Matt C on YT. You're always welcome to come hang out and chat in my live streams. Those are linked down in the description. Looking forward to it. Okay, bye.